Hello there. That's my line. Damn it, dude. Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 3 is now available on Disney Plus, and dude, we're already halfway through this series because they released the first 2 episodes first day, and that was only a few days ago. Nonetheless, this episode continues to raise the intrigue level of Obi-Wan Kenobi's quest between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. With a show filled with a lot of interesting characters played by really good actors, if you don't like anything that you see, don't watch. It's not for you. If you've been living under a rock baking beneath the 2 suns on the sands of Tatooine and haven't seen the newest episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi, or you're just not caught up with the show at all, you might want to click off this video, go on Disney Plus, go watch those 3 episodes, then come back here to check out my reviews, my thoughts on the nitty-gritty spoilers, so stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Heads Project. I'm John Rodalaza, and today I'm going to be talking about Episode 3, Part 3, I should say, of Obi-Wan Kenobi. This one gave me goosebumps on my goosebumps. They showed us some Anakin at the last episode. The very end of that one, we got a shot of Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of frightened and panicked, and he says Anakin, and then the camera cuts to Anakin, Darth Vader, in his bath, and he's just chilling there floating. I guess he can sense that Obi-Wan Kenobi is still alive. That's why he's searching for him. And this episode, we surprisingly get a lot of Darth Vader in here. This is quite literally the return of Vader since, well, we had him in Rogue One for like 2-3 scenes, but just seeing and hearing that 1-2 punch of James Earl Jones back as the voice and Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader, like, that's a really great feeling that I get watching this episode. And we get a lot of terrifying Darth Vader in here, dude. He's vicious. Like, we got a little glimpse of that with Rogue One. Obviously, he's very, very well put together in the original trilogy. He's not super ruthless back then, but the Rogue One showed us a little side of him that you might not want to see, and this was like a continuation of that. This takes place before Rogue One, so he's even more bitter, he's even more sour, and I really enjoyed it, dude. I thought this was a really fun episode, a really great episode for the villains. I thought Moses Ingram was really good in those first 2 episodes, although I'm not super into her character. It's just kind of like she's trying to suck up to the Empire, or there's maybe something there that's just not being conveyed very well. She's very rebellious against the Inquisitors, her superiors, and she ends up killing the Grand Inquisitor in that first episode. Here, she's still kind of doing her own thing. She spoke to Darth Vader. She's got his number. I don't know about the brother over there or the Grand Inquisitor. It doesn't seem like they have their numbers, but she mentions to Darth Vader that the Grand Inquisitor is dead, and he just cuts her off and says, "I don't care about the Grand Inquisitor." And then I was just like, all right, so do I? Am I supposed to care about them? Do I care about Reva? Do I care about any of these people? These are like Disney's creations, are they not? Like, they came after Disney bought Star Wars and Lucasfilm in total. So that was interesting. I don't know. I felt a little bit like they buried themselves. Like, okay, the Inquisitors are supposed to be kind of important to an extent, but then Darth Vader himself says, yo, those guys. Also, Vader's castle. Like, he's in his castle on Mustafar. I've always seen like pictures of it through, like, I don't know, Star Wars theories videos and whatnot, and I think I saw like a Lego set of it. Other than that, I don't think we've ever seen it in live action. Maybe it was in Rogue One, I can't remember, but it was really cool to see it in live action, like Vader's castle. So for Obi-Wan Kenobi and Leia, it picks up where the last episode left us off. They're on the run from Reva. They got into that ship, they managed to escape Reva, and she was like seconds away from possibly chopping Obi-Wan in half or something. I don't know. We still don't know what her vendetta, she's got some sort of vendetta against Obi-Wan. We don't necessarily know what that is, what her relation is to them. The popular theory is she was one of the Jedi in the opening sequence of the very first episode of Obi-Wan. As a youngling, she's witnessing the clones killing Jedis in the Jedi Temple. So it's quite literally, she could have been a previous Jedi. That's generally what all the Inquisitors are, right? They're all previous Jedi. So Reva could have a tie there. Maybe she has more knowledge on Anakin being Darth Vader. She probably just knows that firsthand. Maybe she sees Anakin. Maybe we get another flashback in the next episode or the one after that. We got 3 episodes left. But maybe we get a flashback of Reva as a youngling watching Anakin Skywalker slaughter people. Like, what if we got that? That'd be really cool. Obi-Wan, or Ben we should call him, Ben and Leia hitch a ride on this alien's floating bus, and it sounded like this alien was voiced by Seth Rogen. It's not, surprisingly. It's a lookalike, or here alike. It's actually Zach Braff. He's from Scrubs. I've never seen Scrubs, but man, did he really sound like Seth Rogen to me. I don't know. It was kind of jarring. I'm like, it's sort of like Seth. I was just waiting for him to laugh, and I'll be like, yeah, that's him. Some stormtroopers hitch a ride on the floating bus with Obi-Wan and Leia, and then they go to this outpost where the alien guy, he steps out of his floating car and starts talking to the stormtroopers. I brought something I thought you want to see and check out. So he's kind of like, he's buddies with the stormtroopers. So they went and go interrogated Obi-Wan. He, of course, starts shooting them up, blasting them, takes out almost all the stormtroopers. Then this other cruiser comes by with 2 more stormtroopers, this lady in this Imperial outfit. They all step out, and then she takes out her stormtroopers. It's someone in disguise. Her name is Tarla, I believe, and I can't remember if she said she was a Jedi or just a plain old rebellion fighter. She's on the good side, so that's good. But the sun goes down, the place is all dark, it's nighttime, and then the Inquisitors show up. But the Inquisitors are lined up with stormtroopers, and then you hear the breathing. You see the shadow, and Darth Vader has landed on this planet, and he's looking for Obi-Wan. This is the part that I really enjoyed and what really made the episode for me. It was Darth Vader absolutely tearing up, dude. I mean, he was pulling dudes out of their homes, through their windows with the Force, choking them, snapping their necks, dragging them along the dirt until Obi-Wan revealed himself. Obi-Wan tells Leia to go with Tarla, go onto the ship, go without you, I'll meet you there, I just gotta do something. And I thought we were gonna get that big old showdown right here, right now. No, it was more like Obi-Wan was looking out for the village people. He wanted to make sure they were safe and none of them got killed, more than they already were. There was already like 3 or 4 that Vader killed just walking down the aisle. So he runs away from the village, and I guess Vader senses that, so he goes after him and he starts taunting him with that beautiful red lightsaber, and Obi-Wan says, "What have you become?" And he said something like, "This is what you made me." And oh my God, dude, chills. Now, I will say, this is episode 3. You kind of expected that. I had heard that we were gonna get possibly 2 showdowns with Vader and Kenobi, so when I remembered that and saw this ending part of the episode, and it kept cutting away from them, and Obi-Wan was more or less taunting Vader, just kind of running away. He didn't necessarily want to fight him head on, because Obi-Wan just used the Force for the first time in like 10 years in episode 2. He's very weak within the Force, and Darth Vader can sense that, dude. He senses it, and he says, "You're weak. You're not as strong as you used to be." And you could see it, dude. You could tell that's Obi-Wan's strategy. He doesn't want to just jump into this battle because he's so out of practice. With all that said, he still does ignite his lightsaber for a really dope shot. I really enjoyed seeing that. I thought, oh boy, are we all wrong? Are we about to get another showdown? But, it was more or less defensive Obi-Wan, and like weak defense. I mean, he was literally just holding the lightsaber in front of him as Vader struck him. Like, it was insane, dude. Just absolutely slashing him. I really enjoyed it. They did cut back and forth. I think they cut a little too much. They could have tightened it and made it more coherent and centered around this conflict between Obi-Wan and Vader. But, they had to do other things, which I know, we'll talk about that real quick. So Tarla is running down this secret tube with Leia, and Leia says, "I can take care of myself." And then Tarla just leaves her. She just goes to save Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan's now surrounded by a bunch of stormtroopers, and Vader takes down this giant tower filled with something. It's flammable. He sets the whole thing on fire. The whole ground is now on fire. And this part really got me, dude. It was bone-chilling. It really just invoked an emotion out of me that I just didn't expect this episode to do. So the whole ground's on fire. Vader decides to pick Obi-Wan up with the Force, and then he just slams him on the ground and starts dragging him through the fire. telling him to feel what he felt, what he did to Anakin. I sat up in awe, dude. I could not believe what I was seeing. He was just dragging him through that fire. His arm was burning, and then he sets out the fire. Vader uses the Force to take the fire away, tells the stormtroopers to take Obi-Wan, bring him to me. And then there's Tarla on a cliff. She shoots that tower once again. It sets the field on fire all over again. The droid Tarla take Obi-Wan onto their ship, and they're now gone. They're gonna go recuperate. Probably gonna get a whole episode of Obi-Wan in a bacta tank where we get flashbacks of prequel era stuff. That'd be kind of cool. What if, hear me out, guys, hear me out. What if we get a flashback of Clone Wars era with Obi-Wan, Anakin, and possibly Ahsoka? I don't know, that'd be really cool. I think that'd be really cool. It's kind of a stretch, but maybe a flashback. I think that's safe to say. We're probably definitely going to get a flashback of Anakin and Obi-Wan, you know, before he was burnt to a crisp. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So Reva captures Leia, supposedly going to bring her to the Empire or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen there, but there's a lot of intrigue to be had, to be honest. I still don't know what's going to happen with the Inquisitors. I had heard something about Grand Inquisitor having two stomachs and him possibly not being dead. Why just kill him then? Like, why'd you kill him? Stop killing people. It seems like they have a plan with Reva, and maybe some people like it, maybe some people won't like it. But if you're the one people who really don't like it and want to tell Moses Ingram that you don't like it, don't bother. Like I said, it's not for you. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. So be nice, be kind. It's Star Wars. Star Wars is filled with a bunch of creatures and races across galaxies. Shut the up. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining me on my episode review, or part 3 review of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let me know down below, what did you think about this episode, and where do you think it's gonna go, man? Are you satisfied with this first confrontation between Vader and Kenobi? I thought it was great. It was exactly what it needed to be, because this show has set up Obi-Wan to be this defeated man. There was no way he was going to match Vader's power in this episode. So it made sense that they approached it in sort of like a horror movie fashion. Vader was straight up a slasher villain in this episode, and it was beautiful. Darth Vader, dude, he's so good. This is the first time I get to talk about Darth Vader on the channel, so I haven't reviewed the original trilogy yet. So once we get there, man, he's just one of the greatest villains of all time. He really is. So leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys, and be sure to stick around next week, for I will be covering episode 4, part 4 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, where we will probably get 50 minutes of Ewan McGregor in a bacta tank reliving the glory days. So you might want to stick around, guys, because there is more to come.